It was the right place at the right time. I had joined Coach Sealy, who I played with here at UCLA, just kind of exploring whether collegiate coaching was a career path that I would like to go in. And it just so happened that beach volleyball started at the same time, and there was talk of it potentially happening at UCLA, and they asked me, hey, is this something that you would be interested in taking on? I said, absolutely no brainer. I mean, beach is near and dear to my heart from my playing career, and I just feel like I know the game really well, and I could make an impact here at UCLA.
When beach volleyball, or it was sand volleyball originally, when it was an emerging sport, there was a lot of discussion around the Pac-12 of who was going to add it, and then obviously on the West Coast. The original discussion was, oh, the indoor players will play beach and they'll just kind of go back and forth. And obviously the sport has completely evolved into two very different sports, and it's difficult for players to do both because of the time commitment and the capacity to train and compete at the highest level.
It makes sense. It's Southern California sport, so it should just be added right away, but I think it was a big choice for all the Pac-12 schools to make. And I would say a lot of them had that necessary evil feel of like, well, if these schools do it and I want to recruit great indoor kids and they want to play both and we don't have both, then we're going to lose indoor recruits because they don't have the opportunity to play indoor and beach. So I think a lot of programs added it just for the sake of, being able to still recruit top-end kids that may want to play both. And I know the first couple of years were tough because they were driving themselves to the beach and then driving back to school, so it was really this grassroots starting.
We didn't start fully funded. We had one scholarship between the McNamara twins and everyone else was a walk-on. So it was trying to figure out how we continue, what our long-term 3 to 5 year plan was to get that going. When we started the program, as much as everyone would love to build, 5 courts on campus, our challenge is where would you build those on campus? So there was already beach courts up at Sunset Recreation. What we did was redid those courts to do 2 courts.
Obviously, to have a home base where people can practice and train every day logistically, it's easier. That's kind of when Stein went full-time out on the beach side, so to have a full-time dedicated coach thinking beach all the time, going and recruiting, getting those kids. It's such, it's a beautiful enclosure up there. So to get them in kind of that grass field with those courts up there, it's kind of a no-brainer sale.
Initially, our thought was to have 14 athletes on our roster, 10 compete, and we recognize in order to be at the top and really compete, and you're seeing that around the country, you have to have 16, 18, 20 athletes. So getting a 3rd court is really going to make a difference now that we see how many athletes we have to train at once.
Thanks to John Mapes and his donation, we're in process of breaking ground on Mapes Beach, which will be renamed Mapes Beach at Sunset Recreation. We'll start construction on that in August.
It was definitely a special experience last year to be here from the inception of the team and to see the growth that we've had over the years. And we didn't grow as fast as some other schools did in the early years, but I think we gained ground quickly in the last few years, and a lot of it had to do with this great group of seniors that we have now. The growth that we've made in the 4 years since they've been here has been incredible.
Yeah, we are so fortunate to have Stein. I playfully call him the hustler because he is always hustling for something, and it's great. It's exactly what you need for something like an emerging sport. We're still working on our identity. I mean, we obviously have grown leaps and bounds in the last 5 years, and but so much of this has been Stein's vision. He really wants to create something that's going to sustain itself, not just as a one-time national champion, but someone that's going to compete for championships every year, and that's what we hope and that we want all of our teams to be doing, and it's exciting that our newest sport is actually leading the charge.
We feel like this team is doing stuff really special. We think that we're at the cutting edge of what college athletes are able to do on the court strategically in terms of skills, but we're hungry for more.